Welcome back, y'all, to Sawyer Farm. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Alex.
So today y'all been asking some questions about, you kind of just wanted to get to know us a little bit better. And so today's video, that's what it's going to be about. It's just some questions that y'all had, and we didn't get all the questions, but we tried to get the most of them that would probably better describe and kind of get to know us a little bit better. But so we're just going to get into the questions right now. So one of the questions was, how did we meet and how long have we been together? Was one of the questions. And so how we met was, Alex plays the piano at our church, and that's how we kind of met. When I got back out of the Corps, I started going to the church because my family was going there, and I seen her play the piano. Kind of long story short, we started talking for about a month, and then we started dating for about a month, and then I proposed to her. I don't know, after only 2 months, I proposed to her. She said yes, so she's the crazy one. And we have been married. It would be 3 years this last September. We've been married for 3 years. So that kind of answers that question. We've been together for 3 years, and that's kind of how we met, was through church. Good way to find your spouse is through church.
Yep. So our next question that we've been asked by a few of you guys is, do we both work outside of the farm? The answer to that is, like Jacob said, I do play the piano at our church, and I do get a little bit of money from that. But other than that, my main job is taking care of the animals on the farm. So, I mean, my focus is mostly on the farm animals.
So for what I did was, after the Marine Corps, I have been in law enforcement for a little over 3 years now. But I've had to resign from my position as a deputy sheriff because I obtained a back injury in the Marine Corps on my second deployment, and it's never been the same. My back's never been the same, and it's gotten so bad that I've had to resign from it. And so right now I'm not in law enforcement, but I do plan on getting back into it whenever my back heals up. They're talking about surgery. I don't really want to do surgery, but we're doing a little less invasive measures right now. I am getting better. I can, move around. Of course, you could kind of see in the videos, but it is something that I do have to be cautious about because I can make it a lot worse very quickly. So as of right now, I'm just helping Alex around the farm, just doing minor things, just trying to lighten her load and just whatever kind of, needs to be done that I can do without making my back worse. But I do plan on getting back into it whenever I can. It's just right now we're kind of in that middle in-between area. But that's kind of what we do. She takes care of the farm, and then I was in law enforcement. But right now we're just working together on the farm, just trying to build our farm into more of a, I guess you say, business aspect. But that's pretty much what we do for our jobs.
So the next question you guys wanted to know is, do we have farm dogs or just dogs in general? And the answer to that is yes. We do have 2 Bernese mountain dogs. Their names are Samson and Willow. Bernese mountain dogs, they originated from Switzerland, and they were bred as just a general purpose farm dog. They're a very large breed dog. They used them to pull carts to market, or mostly just a general purpose farm dog.
So the next question that we have is, do we plan on adding any new animals to the farm? So if y'all watch our other videos, we do have a lot of animals, and we do plan on having a couple other ones. I would kind of like to try maybe quail, but we're not just trying to jump into everything all at once. But that would be something in the future that I would like to try to raise. We've never raised them, but we have been around them, and we have had quail before, so I do like it. But that is something that we might get into. That's something that I would like to maybe incorporate on the farm.
And another animal that I would like to do on the farm is raise a cow for butcher. So we've been wanting to do this for a while. Right now what we're doing is we're just buying from our pastor who raises cows, but we want to be able to raise our own. The only thing that is stopping us right now is we just do not have the appropriate setup or fencing for a cow right now. But we do really want to do that in the future, so that could be a possibility that we do.
The other question that we have is, what are some of our hobbies that we like to do, I guess, other than farming? I do like to, we're kind of outdoors people, so I do like to, hunt, fish. Honestly, a lot of my hobbies is kind of dealing with the farm. I like building things. I like, getting things and putting this stuff together. So, kind of like woodworking type stuff. I like, I've made quite a bit of stuff, but I really enjoy that. I know it's kind of dealing with the farm also, but those I'd probably say would be the main hobbies. But really, a lot of the farm stuff I really like doing, and I consider that kind of almost, part, I guess you could say, hobbies. It's almost, you kind of mix business with pleasure a little bit, and so that's kind of the hobbies that I like to do.
So some of my hobbies are, I really love to fish. Like Jacob said, we're pretty outdoorsy people, so just about anything to do with the outdoors I love. But other than like fishing, I do love to play music, like instruments. I play the piano and the guitar, but those are just a couple of my hobbies.
So the other questions we got, it's kind of a two question, but they coincide with each other. So one is, how long was Jacob in the Marine Corps, and where did Jacob's time serving in the Marine Corps take him, and how does he feel about that time now? What positive effects has Jacob taken from that time? So I served 4 years as an infantryman. I joined right out of high school. I literally, 2 months after high school, I was off to boot camp. Not to get too in the depth, but I will say I went to a lot of countries, and to kind of sum everything up with 2 words, I would say I am grateful and I am appreciative of a lot of things now that I look at. And you may ask, like, what do you mean by appreciative? Like, very small things. Putting on a fresh pair of socks, there's just something about it, even to today, when I put them on. And anybody that's served, especially as an infantryman, they'll understand that. Just a fresh pair of socks and taking a shower. Those are 2 things that just still today, I just kind of look at, and it's a real warm feeling. May not seem like a lot to some people, but a lot of people probably understand what I'm talking about. But it was definitely, glad I did it. It was a good time. So I hope that answers those questions for you.
So another thing you guys wanted to know from us is, do we raise or grow anything to sell? We do sell our eggs from our chickens. We sell a few things from the garden that I'll make, like I make apple butter, and I sell that. That's not really from our garden, but I do sell some of our fresh produce. Not on a large scale, it's mostly to family and friends, because our garden's not really to the size that we can really sell a whole lot to other people. But eventually we'd like to do that for sure. And the last thing that we do sell is our rabbits, and you guys probably know that. We do sell to one farm store right now. One of the other questions was if we plan on expanding our rabbitry to be able to sell to pet stores year round. That's a great question. I'm glad you guys are asking. We do, like I said, we do sell to one store right now. We have just recently got an offer to sell at one of our local stores, and it is a year-round opportunity. So we're in the process of getting that going. So we could possibly be selling rabbits year-round here, and that's just a great, that's a great added income to the farm. So we're pretty happy about that. Right now we're just waiting on a confirmation to get that process started, but it is in the works for sure.
Now the other thing you wanted to know is, what is our favorite goat breed? So, right now we have Kiko goats. And one of the reasons why we kind of went with them, I would say that for right now, we've had two breed of goats. We've had boars and the Kikos. And we had the boars because that was kind of our first goats we had. And in this area where we live, they're just really, that breed of goat, a lot of maintenance. They need a lot of maintenance, to keep them, survive. They don't kid very well. That's just our experience with it. And I know I've talked to other people, and literally almost everybody that have Kikos, I feel like everybody who first start out with goats usually get boar goats because they're very popular and they're very good in the market. But we went with Kiko goats because we did a lot of research, and we do watch Daniel Arms Family Homestead, and he has Kikos, and we watched a lot of his videos, and we did a lot of research, and they, like we said before, they're a feral goat. They originated from New Zealand, and they got a wild goat and bred it in, so they're very parasite resistant. You nearly have to clip their hooves. And if you're getting up into a higher percentage, like we're trying to, they're just you don't have to maintain them a whole lot. And that's kind of the way I've looked at our whole farm. I like to try to get things, breeds, animals and such, something they're just like sustainability. Like you don't have to put a lot in them. You don't have to, worm them all the time, because with the Kikos, they're very parasite resistant, and if you get up there in the good bloodlines, you almost never have to worm them if you have the right bloodlines. So that's kind of what we're going for with the Kikos. They're very good. They're hardy. I would say they're a good goat to have if you're thinking about getting goats. You don't have to maintain them as much as some other breeds. Some other breeds, there are Spanish goats where those are very similar. The Kiko and the Spanish. If we didn't have Kikos, we'd probably get Spanish, and who knows, we might get Spanish, and, we don't know. Just right now we have Kikos, and we're really liking them just because of their resistance, and they can just pretty much, you put them out somewhere and they'll survive no matter what. So right now that's kind of our favorite breed. They just seem to be very well-rounded. So one other question we had was, how tall are we both?
Well, I'm 6 foot tall, so how tall do you think
I
he
am?
is?
We're just joking, guys. She's not 6 foot tall, okay? But
I look like a shorty in all the videos, so I know.
Right. But on the real note, I am 6'4",
and I'm 5'5", so I'm pretty short, and he's really tall.
Y'all wanted to know, do we have kids? And the answer is no. We don't have any kids. And I know probably a lot of people are going to ask, you plan on having kids? Right now, it's just really not on our radar, on our minds at this point. We grew up in big families. I have 7 sisters and 3 brothers. Alex has 6 brothers and 3 sisters. And I was the 3rd oldest. She's the 2nd oldest. And so just growing up, we grew up around even till now, we're still growing up around kids. And I guess you could say, we've taken care of kids and stuff of that nature throughout our lives. And it's just kind of, I guess you could say, we're just not, I guess, at that point of really we want to have kids. Just right now, we're just not thinking about it. And we're just trying to just grow our farm and do what we can. The last question we have is, why did y'all decide, what drove you to live this lifestyle in today's world? And this video, this question could be almost a video of itself, because I can get pretty in depth with it, but I'll try to give you just a little bit, of kind of how we think. And we're 27, 26 years old, and most people our age, they're not even thinking about stuff like this. They're just off doing, technology and all this other stuff. Not saying that stuff's bad, but just the way we thought and the way I really like to think is just living in that old time. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten a lot of stuff, kind of like where we came from. people coming over here and just like surviving and knowing these traits on just how to take care of yourself. Because for me, I don't like to depend on, a lot of, like I have to have, this person, or without this person, my life would be gone, or anything like that nature. I just like to be more independent. And knowing that I have these animals and we take care of them and they provide food for us, it's a very self-gratifying thing to have, knowing that you don't have to depend on grocery stores or somebody else for your life in aspect. You contain that yourself, and I mean it's kind of hard to describe a little bit just in this small window. I'm not trying to make this very long, but it's just a very good feeling, and that's what to sum it up. That's kind of what we do. And it's fun. If y'all really want to know a lot about it, just let us know. We could probably do an in-depth video about that. But if y'all like this video, just hit that like button. If you got any other questions and you kind of like these videos, the question and answers, if you have any more, maybe some of these questions sparked another question, leave them in the comments. And if you all like this Q&A, maybe we can kind of do this every so often, answer some questions that people want to have, because I know whenever we started watching YouTube, you always have tons of questions about people you're watching. You're just always wondering these questions. So leave them in the comments and we might do this again. Hit the like button, of course. But the first thing you got to do is subscribe to our channel, okay? And then there's a bell. Hit the bell for notifications. I'll let you know whenever we put out new videos and everything of that nature. That's pretty much all we got for today, guys. And one other question y'all might want to be knowing is, what are we drinking in these cups? Just want you to know it's tea. All right?
A little southern sweet tea.
Good sweet tea, okay? That's what we drink around here. But we'll leave y'all with that. And y'all take care, and God bless.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Got this. Blah, 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 blah.
But we'd like to do that in the future for sure, is to be able to make a big garden to sell some stuff.
I was an infantryman, 0311, if y'all ain't, I don't know. Yeah, I need to redo that. And like I said, you just can't, I like to talk.